I broke up with my best friend of 15 years because I found out she was cheating on her fiance. And y'all can say I'm not a girl's girl for this one, but her fiance is my brother. And she was cheating on my brother with my ex-boyfriend. I probably don't have to say any more, but hear me out because this story is fucking wild. So my ex-best friend Rachel and I have been friends since childhood. We both went to a private Catholic girls' high school. We met freshman year, became inseparable. We went to the same college together, roomed together all 4 years of college. After we graduated, we both got jobs in New York City, and my older brother happened to be living and working there. Obviously, the rent in New York City is fucking ridiculous, so the three of us just moved in together. Now, I knew that Rachel always had a thing for my brother, but growing up, he could not be less interested. He was 5 years older than us. But at the time, I had a really serious boyfriend who lived in Jersey City. So I spent most of my time in Jersey City with my boyfriend. I was pretty much never home, and I guess because of that, her and my brother bonded, and they were actually secretly hooking up behind my back for like 6 months before they started dating. So flash forward, her and my brother get really serious. They decide to move in together. I end up moving in with my boyfriend. We break up. I move out. I move back in with my sister and my brother. My brother took me aside and told me like, hey, you know, I think it's time for you to move out. Like, we're really serious and I'm thinking about proposing. It was at this time that I met my now fiance. And 2 months into us being together, I moved in with him. I know how stupid that is. You can shit on me about it in the comment section. I don't care. My brother and my best friend Rachel end up getting engaged, and all she can talk about is the wedding. How she can't wait to become Mrs. Jackson Parker. She of course asks me to be the maid of honor. I'm thrilled. Like my best friend is about to become my sister. So as the maid of honor, I'm obviously like heavily involved with the wedding planning, as well as all the events leading up to the wedding, like the bachelorette party. So a couple weeks ago, Rachel and I get together over coffee to plan her bachelorette party. And she tells me that in prep for the wedding, she wants to get really fit. She was planning on wearing a strapless dress. She's like, I want to get like bridal arm. And she says, remember your ex, James? Like, wasn't he a personal trainer? I was like, yeah. But like, there are a million other personal trainers in the New York area and he's in Jersey City. Like, come on. And she's like, well, do you mind if I maybe reach out to him? She's like, I was looking at his Instagram and like his clients, like they all have the exact arms that I want. So I was like, okay, like, sure. That's fucking weird as hell, but whatever. I'm not gonna argue with her. She starts training with my ex. So last week I'm home with my fiance and we literally just got engaged like 2 weeks ago amidst all this chaos. So things have been a little hot and heavy between us. So we're having ourselves a little date night, you know, wine, took some spicy cubes, spent a couple hours face down, ass up. So when we finally come up for air, I send Rachel a voice memo and I'm like, Rachel, we have to get these spicy cubes for your bachelorette party as like party favors, and you need to take them on your honeymoon. Not that I want to think about my best friend and my brother doing it, but I was like, they're amazing. Like, you guys have to try these. And as I'm sending this voice message, I see her location is in Jersey City. And it's 11 o'clock at night. No way she is working out with my ex at 11 o'clock. So I like zoom in and sure the fuck enough, she is at my ex's house. I wake up the next morning, it's around 8 o'clock, and I go to text Rachel to see if she wants to meet up for coffee or breakfast with the intent of asking her like, hey, like, why the fuck were you at James's house last night? And I see her location. She is still there. She spent the night at my ex's house. Mind you, my brother is away on his bachelor trip, and she is fully sleeping at another man's house while my brother is out of town. What the fuck? Do I give her a chance to explain herself before I go to my brother? Like whose side am I supposed to choose? I'm a girl's girl through and through. This girl is my best friend. I would take a bullet for her, but my brother's blood. He and I are like this. You fuck with my family, you fuck with me. So I'm like having a mental breakdown, and Rachel ends up calling me like an hour later. She's in the car, probably driving home from my ex's house. And she's like, oh yeah, what's up? Like, I got your message about the spicy cubes. Like, definitely get some for the bachelorette. I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna stop you right there. Why the fuck were you in Jersey City last night? She's like, oh, I was at a friend's house. I'm like, oh, okay, so does that friend happen to live with James? Silence on the other end of the phone. And then she hangs up on me. What the fuck? Now I'm pissed. I call this bitch back. Declined. So I sent her a text and I'm like, I know that there is something going on. Fess the fuck up, or I'm calling Jackson. I'm telling my brother. She calls me back and she's hysterically crying. She's like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry. I broke it off. Oh, so there was something happening between you. And it wasn't just a one-time thing. You actually had to break off an affair. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna give you one fucking chance to be honest and to man the fuck up. When Jackson gets home today, you're gonna tell him. And if you don't tell him, I'm going to. I'm angry, but I know underneath, like, how much my brother loves her. And, like, he was just in Vegas on a bachelor trip. Like, you think he didn't go to, like, a strip club, but I know him well enough to know, like, if she was honest with him, there's a very good chance that he would still marry her. So she agrees to this. I never followed up with her on whether or not she told him. I didn't hear from either of them for days. I figured that she kept her promise and told him, because why the fuck would you lie about that? I sent my brother a couple texts here and there, but I didn't hear back. I figured they were, you know, either taking some time apart or working it out, and I didn't want to be overbearing. So after like 5 days, you know, my brother calls me and he's like, hey, can you come over? He's like, I really need to talk to you. So I go over there, Rachel's not there, and immediately he's like, have you talked to Rachel? I'm like, no. He's like, well, you know, I think something is going on with her. She's been acting really weird, and that she's been spending all her time with her girlfriends who live in Jersey City. She doesn't have friends in Jersey City. And he's like, well, then who the fuck's house has she been staying at the last several nights? I'm like, did she not tell you I couldn't cover for her anymore? She not only didn't tell him, but continued sneaking around behind his back. So I fucking told him everything. I literally just told him 5 minutes ago. I'm sitting in their driveway. So Rachel, I suggest you get out of bed with my ex and head home, because my brother is gonna want to have a word with you. Fuck you, bitch.
Some teachers love a power trip. So 6 years ago, I was in freshman year of high school, if you can believe that, and I was in my last class of the day. And it was 7th period, it was geometry. I really liked the teacher, and her classroom was across the hall from the bathroom. And there was this girl in the class, and she was pretty extroverted. She wasn't a bad kid. She wasn't the type of kid you could sit into the bathroom and worry, like, oh, is she gonna come back? Like, what's gonna happen? No, she was a good kid. And she raises her hand. It's 20 minutes left of class, left of the whole school day. And she raises her hand, she says, hey, can I use the restroom? And the teacher's like, there's 20 minutes of class. Like, you're not going to miss my lesson. No, you can't use the restroom. You can go in 20 minutes. And she said, no, like, you don't understand. Like, I got to go really bad. Like, please excuse me. I'll be back. She's like, no, you're not going to miss the lesson. There's 20 minutes of class left. You will sit in your chair. And she's like, no, you're not hearing me. I have to pee. I have to go. And this became like a 10-minute conversation. And we're all looking around her like she's now in tears. She's crying because she has to go so bad, which we all know that feeling. And the teacher's just continually being like, no, you are not using the restroom. And it was one of those things where I'm like, does she realize like this is very much against the rules to deny someone the right to use the bathroom when they're literally in tears over it? And so we're all comforting her. We're like, girl, just go to the bathroom. You cannot get in that much trouble. Like, just go to the bathroom. And I told her personally, I said, go to the bathroom and then go to the principal's office. Like, get your backpack right now and leave the classroom. I don't exactly remember if I think she left before the end of class, but it was so weird to watch her just cry and the teacher just stare at her and be like, you're not using the restroom. And it just proves to me that there are some teachers out there who become a teacher with the sole purpose of just wanting to belittle children. Because we were children. And it was also really sad because I enjoyed that class, and then the rest of the school year, which was probably not that long, maybe a couple months, I had no respect for her whatsoever. I could have cared less if, I could have cared less. And that was because she had mistreated someone who did not deserve to be treated like that. If it's some kid who you just know is going to run off in the halls and just never come back, that's one thing. Maybe. But when someone is like saying they need to use the bathroom that bad and they're in tears, now come on now.
So we have a story time. So a while back, like a month ago, I was dating this kid named Colin, and she was dating his best friend Josh. So that's kind of how we're best friends, because we're like trauma bonding, I say.
So we had these two friends. Their names were Josie and Abigail. A couple things about Josie and Abigail: they don't care who they cross to get play.
They could ruin literally every single friendship just for dick. And basically, that's what happened. There was one night where we were all at my house playing pickleball, and like our boyfriends brought their friends, like Bodie and Jason, and they're like, hey bro, we have like these girls like that they want to bring.
And obviously the girls that they brought,
Abigail and Josie. This is when we first met them, so we didn't really know anything about them. And they just come in my house and they sit on their phones the whole time.
And they're like play fighting with our boyfriends, being like, why won't you like give me attention like you give to Addie and Leah?
It was
like,
so weird, like so overly pick me. Okay, so after that huge hangout, like I texted my boyfriend and I was like, why were you flirting so much with Josie? And he was like, bro, like we've been friends for a little bit, like don't think too much of it.
So we drop it. It's whatever. We all kind of just go home. Like some girls just do that. Like we accept it because we trust our boyfriends. Okay, so I have been like told like some crazy allegations against Josh that like Abigail is snapping him some pretty crazy things.
Yeah, if you know, you know. Okay, so after I texted my boyfriend, I was like, he was like, don't worry about it, like we've just been friends for a while, blah blah blah. And so I just didn't really think of it until we hung out again and they brought the same two guys. But I was talking to the guy and they said that like they did not want Abigail and Josie.
So it's kind of known like around everywhere that they're not like the best girls, but we're nice to them still because we care.
So actually for a while we did decide to put it aside. We actually started hanging out a lot and we became pretty good friends, I'd say.
Like we would hang out all the time. Like whenever we would go to some function or like hang out, it was with them.
Yeah. Like we literally went to like Halloween parties with them, New Year's party, like all the things.
So we just had like a falling out with them. Like it wasn't a big deal, no arguments, no nothing. But then I started getting these like crazy allegations again that Abigail was messing around with Josh.
And then when she would tell me these like rumors, I was like, is my boyfriend doing something too? Because like, you know. So I texted him about all these things and I was like, have you heard the rumors about like Josh and Addie? And then he was like, yeah, but like it's not even that deep, like none of it's true. And I was so confused. I was like,
because they're getting pretty defensive.
Yeah, they were like getting so defensive over it.
And I've kind of tried to play it off with Josh because I don't like to think of like worst case scenarios. So I'm kind of stressing out. So I kind of like, I'm a little stalker. So I have his Snap login. So I log into his Snap and see that they actually are snapping.
She called me and she was like, Leah, Abigail is Josh's #1 best friend on Snap. That like, he's also a Snap fiend. His Snap score's over 1 million. So like that was crazy.
So I've always kind of had an issue with him in Snap, but like I kind of took it lightly, but I did end up looking at their saved in chats. You know, when I heard that she was sending him crazy things.
Proof right there. Proof
Proof is in the pudding.
Oh my gosh.
Abigail, you know exactly who you are, messing around with my now ex-boyfriend. Well, he was reciprocating it, so they're both evil.
Okay, so now on to like my kind of side of it. I was hanging out with Colin and we just decided to go for a drive. There's these swings kind of by my house, so we just like went and talked on the swing. And then he gets out his phone and I see a text from Mom. It says, hey, like I miss you, when are we hanging out again? I look over at him and I go, why is your mom texting you when you're gonna hang out? And so he was like, I don't know, like that's kind of weird, like kind of just like defending, like getting really defensive. And I just didn't really want to start an argument with him because we've been dating for a while, so I just kind of laid off that night. So I go home and I get this text from a random number and it's like, hey girl, and
like
okay,
at that point you can
like,
have them.
I'm just not. No, but she was like, hey, like I've been kind of talking to your boyfriend and he just like sent me something. So in this situation, I appreciate her like texting me that, but still evil for going along with it. And so I asked him and he like sent me a screenshot and you know what? She wasn't being nice. She was doing the same thing back. Okay, so I also have his login because I'm like, we're best friends. Like we kind of do the same things in relationships. And I go through their saved in chats and
exact same thing.
Like, what are we doing?
And I think it's kind of ironic because me and Leah, we're best friends. We do things the same almost. And then Josh and Colin are the same. They do things the same. And then Josie and Abigail are the exact same way. So, like, it's like identical situations.
Like, they're meant for each other, I guess. As of a couple weeks ago, like, we decided to just break up with our boyfriends, like, all on the same night.
That's really sketchy.
Yeah. But we still had their Snap locations, and guess whose house they were at?
Josie.
So the night that we broke up with them, we hadn't even broken up yet, they were at Josie's house. So little us drive to Josie's house. And Colin's car is at
Josie's.
So since we saw proof, we went back to my house and grabbed toilet paper. And
low-key toilet paper at her house, and it was good.
yeah.
Like, all over the trees, and it was raining that night, so it stuck.
We can show a picture if you want. So she's looking for the photo right now, but we'll show it. So
you can kind of see what we did.
Yeah. So anyways, so after we toilet papered their house, we kind of just like left it, like there wasn't really any drama for until now, I'd say. Okay, so Josie and Abigail texted both of us actually.
Like on a group chat.
It was so weird. And they were like, we just want you to know that like we're dating your boyfriends or your ex-boyfriends. And we were like, okay.
Because we kind of knew it was gonna happen. It was inevitable. You're messing around with my boyfriend, you're gonna get with him. Like, it's fine.
Obviously.
But I mean, I do kind of appreciate them telling us, like, kind of clearing their name, but like,
it wasn't a mean way. Like, they were like, we're dating your boyfriends, I really want you to know
like on
that.
a group chat, like, care a little bit more.
Exactly.
Anyways, it started a lot of drama in our school, and we didn't want to have to tell every single person, so that's why we're making this story.
Sorry that's so long, but let us know who's in the right and who's in the wrong.
Here's part 2! So, where we left off is that they, like, kind of got with Colin and Josh, and we kind of just dropped it. And again, we're making this video because originally we wanted to just, like, not start drama around the school, but
here we are. Disclaimer, go watch part 1 because this will not make sense if you don't. Okay,
so obviously we're not with them, but then Josh texts me. Addie, I'm sorry. I said, Josh, you know I care, but I can't do this with you. Receipts for anybody who doesn't believe me. I messed up, just hear me out. Fine, what? You've always been the girl for me. I've just been so stupid. All she was easy, and you can't blame me for that.
We can.
I said, are you kidding? What is wrong with you? He said, are you for real not gonna give me a chance? I said, you cheated on me. Do you blame me?
Who is this guy?
So after he said, do you blame me? I said, bring my stuff back, I'm blocking you. He said, if you don't get back with me, I'm telling Josie it was you who TP'd her house. And I called him childish. I said, you're very childish. He said, you already know I have the upper hand. Don't flatter yourself.
So while all this was happening, like, she's, like, kind of getting in an argument with Josh. I was kind of getting back in contact with Colin. Guys, I'm sorry.
We're sorry!
But we did end up hanging out, like, how long ago was it? Like, a week?
I feel like it was, like, a few days ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And I would say, like, it rekindled some sort of feelings, but
we're just deciding whether we want to do this or not.
yeah. So basically, I keep, like, not bringing up all this past stuff with Colin because, to be honest, I really like him and I don't want to, like, ruin our relationship that we've kind of brought back. But me and Addie are just kind of, like, debating on if we go through with, like, going back to them or not. And I know it sounds so stupid after watching part 1.
And also, I'm very scared to, like, not get back with Josh because he, like, threatened me, you know?
Okay, we forgot to add this in part 1, but,
they asked us to prom and then just, like,
prom's this weekend. So, we did end up getting asked again by, like, some other random kids, but they asked us to prom, like, when we were together.
And then they just unasked us.
Yep. So, basically, Colin's kind of trying to be on our side. Like, he's been telling me, like, information about Josh and Addie that Addie didn't even know what was happening. So I was calling him, I'd say 2 or 3 nights ago, and he told me that the argument with Addie and Josh was, like, very...
It went a lot further
It went a lot further than that.
Like,
he
Abigail had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. He didn't really give me specifics, and I don't know if we're trying to get into that right now, but he just told us that basically there was a lot more going on than what we were told.
So I did end up calling Josh because I heard all that happened from Leah, and I was asking him, like, what happened in the situation regarding Abigail. So you remember when we went through the saved in chats, there was some crazy things that might get banned if I say, like, the word, I don't know. So he had told me, well, I brought it up, and he told me that it was from a long time ago and that I shouldn't have worried about it. Like, it happened before we got together. And I didn't look at the dates when I saw them, so I really couldn't tell if he was lying, and I deleted his Snapchat login, or I would go look. So I've heard that, like, allegedly, Abigail has pictures of him that she will leak if he gets back with me.
So unlike her, I decided to keep the login for Snap. And I went on last night, actually, after I posted part 1, and you know, they're still number one best friends. So this is why we're still kind of debating the running it back. The timestamps for Colin and Josie were definitely way more recent than whatever Josh is trying to say.
But obviously it's two different people. Like, I don't know if I should believe it with Abigail because I don't know if they just did it at the exact same time or what. But that's kind of like our suspicion.
Okay, she has something to say.
Okay, I haven't told Leah this yet either, but I hung out with Josh last night. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I actually freaking...
Anyways, I'll get to the point. I was talking to him about this, and he was basically saying... Yeah, he was saying that he was basically just scared of Abigail at this point because, like...
At least I told you!
So Abigail's family, they do have a lot of, like, power and money. So, we really do believe that, like...
They could take it legal.
They could take this legal even if she didn't have it. So Josh was telling me that he's, like, actually scared and that he kind of just freaked out on me and he regrets it.
He basically told her that he wants her, but he can't get with her because of all of the crap going around.
So basically we've kind of decided that we're going to be, like, back together but keep it on the DL.
I know you guys are going to actually hate us for this, but it is what it is, I guess.
Don't yell at me.
We're probably gonna give it like a week or maybe like more, and if more stuff happens, we will do a part 3, I'm thinking, right?
Because, like, we really do think that there will be a lot more drama. It's just that a lot
It's
of
been
people
like
want...
not that long. You guys have been begging for a part 2, so here it is, but we're gonna wait a little bit and see like if there's any other things that happen in the next week, maybe even sooner. But yeah,
We're trying to handle this as mature as we can and as, like,
because we don't
optimistic as we can. Because we just don't want, like,
things to
people
get
not
out of
to
hand.
like us.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know if you guys want a part 3 if stuff does come up.
Thank you for all the love.
We love you guys.
Okay, this is a story time about how I almost got kidnapped in New York when I was 14. I mean, at least I think I was, but I'll let you decide. Okay. My grandparents took me and my brother to New York when I was 14 and he was 16. But my grandparents went to bed at like 6. They both have insomnia and they have just like whack sleep schedules. So they would go to bed pretty early and they just trusted us to be able to navigate our way through the city. And we were staying in the Marriott in Times Square at the time. So me and my brother were like, okay, Grandma and Grandpa just went to bed. Let's go down to Times Square and like do some shopping or go get some food or like just go do something fun. So turns out someone that my brother knew was in New York at the same time. So my brother went to hang out with these girls that he knew from Utah, but were also in New York the same time we were. Anyway, he texted his friends and we were like, we're gonna go do something with my friends. But I was like, I need feminine products because I had just started that time of the month. So I was like, I need girl things. We have to go get those before we go hang out with your friends. But he was like, no, that's dumb. You go get them yourself. And I was like, okay. So the independent and very ignorant little 14-year-old Kenzie alone in Times Square in New York City. It wasn't like super late. It was like 7 probably, but I was still alone. So there's a CVS, at least there was like 10 years ago in Times Square. And so I'm walking to go get my tampons and I realize I'm just completely alone. But my thought process is, like, if I screamed, someone could probably hear me. And they would help. I mean, at least I thought. So I walk into CVS, and I grab a little basket, and I'm just looking around for my feminine products. And there are floors in that store, so there isn't just, like, one main floor like it is in most cities or towns where Walmart's just, like, huge. You go up escalators to go up to different levels of the CVS. So I can't find what I want on the first floor and I go on the escalator up to the second floor and I grab a basket and I turn around and I kind of realized that this guy right when I walked in the store was like looking at me, but I was like, maybe I'm just being like self-absorbed and thinking he's looking at me, like he's probably not, it's fine, whatever. So I'm just like standing on the escalator going up to the second floor. I turn around and that same man has now gotten on the escalator that I'm on. Once again, I'm like, it's fine. I'm probably just being vain. Like, he probably just needs something from the second floor. So I start walking around the second floor looking for what I need. And this guy, I turn and we're in the same aisle. And I'm like, okay, this might be getting a little weird, but I'm still probably just like exaggerating. So then we're in the same aisle and I start to walk. He was over here and I was right here. So instead of walking past him, I just start to walk out of the aisle. He goes into the next aisle and starts to walk. So we meet at the same time in the next aisle, or like the little hallway in between the aisles. And he's like, hi, my name's Ed, what's your name? And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Kenzie. And I'm like still walking, not trying to stop. So I'm still walking. And he's like, oh, why are you in New York? New York's so beautiful. And I was like, oh, I did everything wrong. But I was like, I'm just here with my grandparents. And he was like, oh, are your grandparents with you? And I was like, no, not right now. Because I'm so dumb. I was 14. Okay, give me a break. I didn't know. Anyways, so I keep walking around the store. I'm still looking for my feminine products, okay, by the way. So I'm pissed. This guy's talking to me now, and he had to be 35. He was so much older than I was, and I did not look old for my age, okay? This was me at 14. I looked 14. Walking with me. Everywhere I'm going in the store, he's going with me. And he's like, well, I'd asking me questions about where I'm from, about where we're staying, about who's with me. He was asking like if I have lots of siblings, if they're here with me in New York. And I am stupidly answering all of these questions because I'm like, I don't know what to do. So finally, we get to a point and he's like, so do you drink? And I was like, no, I don't drink. And he's like, oh, really should. Like, it's so much fun. And I was like, I'm good. Like, eventually, I just started saying I need to get tampons because I was hoping that that would like gross him out enough where he'd be like, no, thank you. Like, ew, gross. I don't want to, you're on your period. So like, this is weird. I was hoping that it would clock in his brain that this was weird, but it didn't. Anyway, he keeps following me around the store and he's like, no, really, you should come with me to this bar I know down the street. It's so awesome. And I was like, no, I don't drink. And I said a little bit more like, no, like I don't drink, I'm not going with you. And he was like, you don't like, he was like, oh, but you would love it. Like he just kept trying to tell me that I would love drinking if I tried it. And I was like, this is so weird. So then he's like, you don't even drink water? Like you don't even want to come with me and get like water or anything? And no, I don't want to come with you. Like, and at this point I'm getting sufficiently freaked out. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm being weird. This guy looks old. I look 14. So I'm looking around the CVS hoping someone notices that this is weird because I genuinely had no idea what to do. So I'm looking around the store hoping that like someone sees this and thinks this is weird, and I make eye contact with the girl, the cashier behind the counter, because at this point I've gone down the escalator, I'm on the first floor, I've gotten what I need, and I'm just like petrified. After the cashier, she looks at me and she just nods her head like, I know what's going on, like come over here. So I start walking towards the cashier and he's like, I just really need your number. Like you have to give me your number. I see you have a phone. Like you should just give me your number. And I'm still panicking. I'm like, I don't know what to do to get this guy away from me. So I give him my mom's phone number because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't want to give him my number. I can't remember my brother's number. I'm going to give him my mother's phone number because he blocks my path to get to the cashier. And I was like, oh, frick. So I give him my mother's number and he says, okay, great. He was like, I'll just text you later a bar and you should show up with some of your friends. And I was like, okay, like, meh. So he finally like leaves. I go over to the cashier and she was like, I just want you to know that that man is always in the store. He's always surveying and walking around and you need to go find your family. Like, this is not okay. So anyways, I just buy the tampons and then leave. And then my mom calls me and she's like, where the hell are you? And I was like, and she's like, are you with your brother? And I was like, and she's like, why are you not with your brother? And I was like, and then she just hangs up and she's like, or before she hangs up, she's like, go find your brother. Like, I'm calling him, you need to be with him right now. And I was like, okay. So turns out Ed had texted my mom and was like, hey, this is the bar we should meet at. You should bring your friends. You were so cute. Like, had texted her. So she got freaked out, called me, found out I was not with my brother, called my brother and reamed him. But this is the funny part, is my brother called me and was like, where are you? Meet me at the H&M. So I come out and meet him at the H&M. I am frazzled. I'm so confused. And my brother's like, you're an idiot. Why did you give him mom's number? Like, now I got in trouble and it's your fault. That was what happened. He was not mad that I just was like in a freaky situation. He was mad that he'd gotten in trouble. And I was like, bruh, what is going on? So anyways, that's my story. I might be being dramatic. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't trying to kidnap me. But I still think I looked 14 and he was absolutely 35. I don't know. That's my story. Hope you had fun.
My high school's week from hell. And when I say, like Michaela said, you want to sit down for this, you're gonna want to sit down for this one. So, it's a casual Wednesday afternoon. I'm going into my third period, okay? Skip first and second period. I don't even think I went to first and second period that day. Anyway, so I get a text from Rye. It says, my teacher was caught with child. Oh, good morning to you too, sir. I need more context. And then he goes, the next text, and before I can even respond, he's getting taken out of school. Oh, he's getting escorted out. Oh, right. So I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Like, da-da-da-da. And he's just like, he was teaching with it on the board. Come to find out, this guy put a picture of him and his friend golfing. And at the bottom, you know, when you screenshot a photo in your camera roll and there's a bunch of photos at the bottom, it was straight girls. Oh, okay, what the hell? He taught his first and his second period up with that, by the way. So, we have this thing called Grizzly period, and it's like a 30-minute work period, basically, and I don't know if this is true, but apparently people are taking videos of it, and somehow he saw but didn't do anything, and nothing happened until third period. What? Anyways, so, mind you, all of his students have access to this photo. So what happens? Of course, people take videos, people take pictures, and now this photo has spread through the entire school. This guy, like, oh my god, how do you not see that you're teaching without a... So, he gets escorted out of school, and come to fourth period, an email goes out to all of our parents, talking about what's going on, and da-da-da-da-da. So, come to today. That happens, it's a whole thing. Literally everybody in the school's talking about it. Every teacher's talking about it. Everybody knows. Everybody's like, this is insane, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but it gets better. Now, this story is on Instagram, got posted all over the news, and is all over the internet. What is happening? Literally all over the internet. Like, literally, if you look up Glacier Peak High School, it'll come up. And you can literally read the email that went out. Like, it's literally everywhere. But don't worry. Wednesday's activities was not enough for Glacier Peak. Come to today, Thursday. I'm in sixth period, sitting in the hall with my friends. Over the intercom, our vice principal goes on and says, that basically, all kids riding the bus there's an elementary school next door, need to go to the elementary school's bus loop to meet with the buses. Why is that, you might ask? Me and my friend Maddie go take a peep out the windows. There's fire truck, ambulance outside. Okay. And I'm not sharing the information with what happened that I know because that's not my place to share, but right, okay. So we just couldn't have enough of having our teacher being insane and showing nasty things that we just, oh my god. But don't worry, that is not it. We're not done. GP is not done. We have to have more activities. So, come to find out, our third, on like the bottom floor of our school, a classroom caught on fire. Oh, great. So, my friend Bryn gets to her lacrosse practice. What do you hear in the background of her video? A bunch of sirens. So there's a bunch of police cars, a bunch of fire trucks, and ambulances at the school. Mind you, nobody is there. Well, I'm sure teachers were there, but no students were there, so thank God for that. But, you know, we just had to have 2 activities in one day and one terrible one the day before. So, we get an email saying there was a reported fire, da-da-da-da, we'll get back to you at 9 o'clock with, like, more information. It's 8 o'clock now, so they came out with it before. But no, we have no school tomorrow. The whole school smells like smoke, and that whole classroom is basically gone. So, we have a teacher on the news everywhere. We have an injury with a student, and we have a classroom caught on fire. In the same 2 days. Not even a week spread out. No, two emergencies with, what's it called? Law enforcement one day. Oh, wait, actually all 3. All 2 days. Right. So, that's my high school's week from hell. Welcome to GP, I guess. Hey, at least I don't have school tomorrow. Literally, like, what is going on? This is insane. Hope you enjoyed.
These are some of the things that my ex-talking stages did that I let completely slide. And I'm going to tell you guys while I curl my hair. So, by the way, these are a mix of men that did these things to me. This one time I was having an argument with this guy and he told me he wasn't feeling like so well recently and that he was like really self-conscious, and I said I think he might be a little depressed, and he was like, depression isn't real. I was like, what do you mean depression isn't real? And he was like, it's not real because I can't get it. This dude literally said he was invincible to getting depression. So this one time this guy came over to my house and he was gonna sleep over the night and we're gonna go out and whatever, and then he said he was gonna go home and get his like things for the sleepover. Then I'm like, okay, cool, and he was like, yeah, I'll be back in like 30 minutes. He goes home and he's like, my car's fucked, like it's broken, I'm gonna wait for my dad's car. I was like, okay, and then he's like, my dad's not home yet, I'll let you know when he's home. And I was like, okay, mind you, like, he kind of just got like a new car, like it wasn't like old, like it was fine, the car was fine. So I'm like waiting around, it's like now 7 o'clock at this point, like we were supposed to like go out and stuff. Anyways, he's like, I'm gonna have a quick nap and wait for my dad to get home from work. Anyway, so he's asleep and I'm still waiting for him, and it's now like 8 o'clock at this point. He's still asleep. I'm tracking his snap score because I don't fucking believe him. Basically, he wasn't asleep. He actually went to the Pitbull concert and got with another girl, but lied to me and said that he was asleep and his car was broken, but he just went to the Pitbull concert. This other guy that I was talking to, like, we got really close really quick, like the vibe was good, I thought everything was all good, I really liked him. Turns to find out he's getting with 5 other girls and gives me another guy that I was talking to. I made a few silly TikToks about him after we ended, and he threatened to sue me for $1 million. So on Valentine's Day, I actually had my period, and this guy was gonna make me a dinner at his house and all this stuff. It was gonna be super romantic and super cute. I worked during the day on Valentine's Day because I had plans obviously during the night. He texts me at work and says that some shit came up and he can't hang out with me anymore. He ends up ghosting me and turns to find out he actually went out with his friends and went fishing and texted me saying how much he liked me, then ends it with me 2 days later and gets with a girl 2 days later and ends up dating her. Mind you, that girl was there fishing with him. This other guy that I was talking to said that I was disgusting because I was depressed, and he said that he would have wifed me, but I was just looking for attention and I'm not actually depressed and it's all in my head. This other guy that we weren't really talking, but like we had talked in the past, he says all the time, says as in still does, that he's gonna see me and that he misses me, but it has been nearly 300 days since we have started talking again, not talking, but just on speaking terms, and he has seen me once, and that's when I surprised him. One of them said I was in the car once with my little sister and I was driving home, and he said, who's in the car with you? And I said as a joke, oh, a bunch of boys, and he threatened to punch me in the face. This one time I was at the park with this guy walking my dog, and we were gonna go out afterwards, but I just needed to give her a quick walk, and she gets really excited when people hug and she like jumps on them, like on me and like whoever I'm hugging. Anyways, so me and this guy like were hugging and she jumped on us, and then he backed off and like started moving away from her, and she started running up to him like wanting to play. She had a full smile on her face, by the way, and he said, Lola, get your fucking dog before I punch it in the face. Also, mind you, afterwards he said, if your dog ever does that again, I swear to God, I'll kill it. Now, I wasn't talking to this guy, but we had met up at the park at like late at night. I think it was like nearly 12 a.m. and I had snuck out, by the way, and then he wanted to at the park, and I said absolutely not. So he left, said he would order me an Uber home. When I got in the Uber, he cancelled it. Mind you, I had no money and my phone was on 3%.
So he literally left me in the park late at night, so far away from my house, and left me with no way home. My phone was dead. I actually ended up walking and knocking on some random person's door sobbing because I was terrified. I knew where I was, but I could not get home. I could walk, but it was about an hour and a half walk on a main road that can get really sketchy sometimes. But yeah, I ended up knocking on some random person's door and asking them if they could please charge my phone so I could ask someone to get me Uber because, again, I had no money. Yeah, they were really, really sweet. I still remember them to this day. They actually ended up getting me an Uber because it ended up being 1 a.m. at this point, and they did have little children asleep in the house. So I wasn't really talking to this guy, but like we were on and off, like, you know. He would see my location at places, or I would ask him if he was going to an event and he would say no, and I would end up seeing him there. So as I do, I go talk to him, like say hi, hello, and he completely ignores me like he didn't even hear me. So then I ask him, like, thanks for ignoring me, like, what was that? And he goes, I was with my friends, why would I talk to you? This one time I went over to a guy's house and we were talking, and then we were just watching a movie, we were just chilling, and literally 2 minutes after he finished, he said, okay, you have to leave in 10 minutes because I'm going to the gym. He did not go to the gym. He went to go out with his friends and other girls. Yeah, that's like not even half the things the guys I've talked to have done to me. And guys, I promise you that is only like 3 guys that have done all of those things to me. I think I mentioned like 3 different guys in that whole thing. That says a lot about my self-respect, and I obviously need to work on that quite a bit. I literally did not see the red flags in any of these guys and until they ended it with me. I've also been called crazy psycho because I would start arguments with them over these things, and because I would obviously find out, and I would start arguments and I got called batshit crazy psycho. But yeah, this is the finished hair, and thank you guys so much for watching.
Story time about how my mom beat the living crap out of me, literally black and blue, because she found out that I had a boyfriend way older than me. So I'm going to call this boy Jay, right? And we have been talking for around 6 months or a little bit more, and he was 22 and I was 15. So boom, the day when everything occurred. So it was a Friday and I didn't go to school that day, and I was going to be dropping off some birthday decorations for my sister's birthday party at her school, right? So I had called Jay the day before and I was like, could you bring me to my sister's school tomorrow, which was Friday, which is the day this is happening, because it's her birthday and I don't want to call Uber because you drive. So I'm from a small community, and where I'm from, our Ubers are not luxury vehicles. Tell me why Jay pulls up in front of my house in a luxury vehicle. I'm like, what is this car doing here? So I call him on the phone and I'm like, I don't see you. Where are you at? He's like, I'm just outside your house. Like, I'm parked outside your house. Come out. And I'm like, is that your car? What are you doing with this luxury car, bitch? So I put on a brave face and I said, you know what? Nothing bad is gonna come out of it because my mom is not home. Nobody's home. I'm the only one that's home, and I'm going to be leaving home to go to my sister's birthday party. Okay, that's what I thought. So I get into the car and he takes off driving. When I think that he's going to be turning left to go to my sister's school, he turns right. So I'm asking him, where are we going? And keep in mind, I was supposed to be at my sister's school with the decorations from 5 minutes ago. So time is on my hands. So I'm getting a little fussy because I'm supposed to be at my sister's school 5 minutes ago and we're late. I'm literally running late and they're depending on me to start the party with the decorations. Literally. So we pull up. So he pulls up into a parking lot and he's like, chill, I just want to talk to you. So I say, okay, you know, I could cut you like 3 minutes. So we're talking, and I'm actually getting frustrated right now because we need to leave. So he's trying to put on like a sexual vibe. I'm like, nope. No, boo. I did not sign up for this. If this is what you want, you are not going to get it, boo, because I told you I had only one aim when I got into this car, and it was to be at my sister's birthday party. Okay? So after I reject his sexual advance and I put my foot down and I'm like, I really need to go because it's 15 minutes that I'm running behind. We're running late by 50 minutes. I need to get to the school so I could help to put the decorations up and we can get the party running, right? So he takes off driving. We pull up to the drop-off area, and tell me why my sister's father is standing out there and my sister's teacher is standing out there literally waiting for me, and I'm walking out of a luxury vehicle like I'm gonna be walking on the red carpet when I wasn't even supposed to be in a luxury vehicle in the first place. I'm dying inside because my sister's father runs his mouth a lot, okay? Every little thing he tells my mother. So I just have to put on a brave face and I just bring the decorations in and we just get to it. Not even 5 minutes of me being at the school, I get a call from my mother. My mother is like, where were you at? He said, which car did you come out of? Don't lie to me. Do not lie to me. Watch when I come home what I'm gonna do to you. Bitch, when I say that I was fucking like trembling, I was trembling because I'm like, man, how did she get the news so quick? You know who told, bitch. So it's about like 2 hours later, me thinking that everything is gonna die down and everything, right? So my mom pulls up, she comes home, she closes all the doors. She comes to my bedroom door and she closes it, because you can close my bedroom door from inside my room. She closed my bedroom door and she told me to strip fucking naked, bitch. So when she came in, I was on the bed on my phone and I looked up, and when she said strip naked, I was like looking at her like this, puzzled, because I'm like, it's not me that you're telling to strip naked, because that would never freaking happen. So she's like, strip naked. And I'm like, no, I'm stubborn as hell. I said, no, I'm not stripping naked. She takes the belt from behind her and grabs me by my... She grabs me by my shirt and starts beating the living shit out of me. Bitch, at one point, I started fighting her. She's like, who are you fighting? Drop your hands. Drop your hands. Child, I was fighting for my freaking life. At one point, I fell to the ground, and she literally got over me and started stamping in my chest, in my stomach. She's like, if you got pregnant, I'm killing this bitch. Like, it's actually not that funny and I shouldn't be laughing, but it's like so long ago. So, you know, you just remember and you laugh. But I wasn't even pregnant because I didn't even do anything. Like, I didn't even have sex or nothing. But she was like, oh, you want to be grown? Watch me and you. Watch me and you. And I got the shit beat out of me that day, bitch. I literally stopped talking to my mom for like 2 months straight. Never glimpsed at her, never talked to her, never nothing, bitch. I cut my mom off. My mom told me that if you know what is good for you, you never speak to him again. Else, if I catch you speaking to him or any contact with him, he's going to jail. And your ass is going to be put out of my house. And she grounded me and took my phone.
Okay, well, I'm on here spilling all of my tea. I want to talk about this like really heinous date that I went on. So this wasn't super recent. It was a minute. So it's been a while. So I don't know what I was thinking. I was not ready for this, but I was just like bored and I was like, you know what? I want to go on a little date, whatever. So download an app for a second, meet this person. Like, she's a little older, she has a cool job, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like, period. So we talked for a little bit and we're both kind of looking for the same thing, like very casual. We're just kind of like, oh, like, you're cute, like, whatever. Like, I think we would catch a vibe. I'm the kind of girl that I don't want to text like forever. Like, I want to meet up and have a conversation with you in person. So we pretty quickly like made plans to go get dinner, I think like the next day. So I show up, I get us a table and I text her and I'm like, hey, like, I'm here, whatever. And then she messages me and she's like, oh my God, like, I'm actually here too. I got us a table inside. And I was like, oh, my bad. So I go inside to like, you know, meet with her, and she's talking to the host or one of the hostesses and is like, oh yeah, sorry about that. Like, haha, got our wires crossed. Anyway, first date, like, wish me luck. Like, very like divorced dad humor, but I was like, okay, cute. Like, she's excited, like, that's funny. So we go back outside, we're talking. She has a very strong personality, which is usually something that I vibe with. Like, you know, I like someone who can keep up. Like, I'm very extroverted, I talk a lot, I ask a bunch of questions. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we're on the same page here. And she'll do one of two things. One, she'll either ask me a question, and then when I answer it, like, I explain what I like doing or what the reason behind something, she'll be like, oh yeah, I figured it was something like that. You're just like, you're one of those girls. And I was like, huh? Almost like negging me. And I would be like, what? I was like, sorry, is that weird? And she's like, no, like, I'm kidding. Like, I'm just kidding. Like, no, I think it's like super cool. You know, I'm just like that. And I'm like, okay, kindergarten boy humor. Like, what is it, like, pulling my hair because you like me? I was like, I don't take that. Like, a little banter is cute, but I'm not the kind of girl that's like, oh my god, you're so stupid, shut up. And I don't enjoy the, like, oh yeah, like, whatever, like, high maintenance, or like, you're just like some girl, but like, I don't think anybody would enjoy that. But I feel like that's some people's dynamic, not for me. The second thing that would happen is that she would ask me a question, and I would start to answer, like, Like, for example, she'd be like, oh, by the way, you mentioned you, like, do this for work. Like, what is that like? And I'd be like, yeah, well, the thing is, like, in this industry, like, I'm a little bit new to it so far. And I'm not kidding. I would get that far in to answering, and she would be like, yeah, you know, speaking of that industry, like, a few years ago when I was, like, doing this is what my experience was. And would, like, then kind of answer her own question that she asked me for herself, which, again, I love asking questions. I love knowing things. I like the back and forth, but it happened so many times in a row that I was like, it felt like I was doing an interview really bad. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, can you imagine someone being like, it's almost like being at the dentist and like they ask you a question when they're like in your mouth, and so you're just kind of like, So genuinely, I could not get a word in edgewise, and it was so confusing because, again, she was asking me things about myself, but she wasn't letting me answer, and then would immediately start answering the question herself. Very strange. Another facet to this is that she was drinking. Now, I'm a lightweight. I don't drink like super often, and when I do, like, I'll black out after like 3 or 4. So I'm definitely used to drinking less than people, slower than people, but I noticed we were there for maybe 30 minutes and she had gone through like at least 2 old fashions, which now confuses me because I'm like, how is she managing to drink so fast when she was also constantly running her mouth? Boggles the mind. So she's getting drunk, and I think our waitress, she was super nice. I think she could tell that we were like super like locked in, engaged in conversation, so she wasn't like coming over to us too often. Like, we were doing totally fine on our own. But every time like the waitress would come over, again, this girl's ordering another drink. When I've like barely even looked at mine, it's been less than an hour. She's gone through like at least 3, 4. And she keeps saying things like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, thanks. No, I think we're good. She's still here. I haven't run her off yet. And so I'm like, okay, again, like this funny, haha. But she was saying it every single time to every person that would come around and like check on us. And I was like, so the question asking and the interrupting keeps getting to the point where now I'm not even trying to interject. She'll ask me a question and I genuinely be like, oh yeah, I don't really know. Like, what, is that something that you do? Because I'm like, there's no point in me trying. And I don't mind making a date about somebody else. Like, again, I like asking questions, I like knowing stuff, but this was because I was like, there's no point in me trying to talk. So it's still kind of like winter-y, and so it's getting cold outside. So we decide to move it inside to the bar. Now, during this time, she has gone to the bathroom a couple times, again, because she's like drinking like crazy. So she's gotten up a couple of times and been like, okay, like, I'll be right back, whatever. And again, every time she passes by, our waitress, the host, like whoever, she stops and is like, hey, check it out, still. And I'm like, what's happening? She's like starting conversations with the people that are at the bar with us, but again, is like being really weird and aggressive. She's suddenly being shitty with the male bartender who's been making her like 7 fucking drinks. And she's like, are you the one that's been making these? Like, can I get it a little like da-da-da? And again, nothing super wrong with that, but I cannot overstate, like, her tone was just like really aggressive and condescending and like so weird. So this is a pretty small space, and people are starting to catch on that she's being kind of a freak. So people are like looking at us, the bartender's avoiding us. I feel terrible. One of the hosts is like kind of coming around and like checking and being like, good. And I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, like people think we're crazy. So she's about 7 drinks in at this point, and she starts touching me. And again, totally cool with that. It's like a little like hand on the leg thing. I'm like, yeah, period, whatever. And then she starts like grabbing my hand and holding it up and like forcibly holding it and just being like this, like, and I'm like, okay, like trying to still like have a normal conversation. And then she starts moving up and I'm trying to talk to her and like engage. And she gets her fingers in my hair and is like pulling my head back. Like, you know what I mean. In front of God and everyone in this fucking restaurant. And now she's like basically going nonverbal. She's just like giving me eyes and like looking at me funny and like trying to like pull me closer, but also is like tugging my hair. And I'm like, okay, whoa there. Like, we're in public. I barely know you. You're being super aggressive. You're so drunk. It takes a lot to make me uncomfortable in situations like this. And I was like, oh, I need to get the fuck out of here. So thank God she goes to the bathroom again. And this time the host, like the one who had seated me and I guess who had seated her and then was kind of like eyeing us every now and again. And like this girl would go by every time and be like, oh, check it out. Like not me on a fucking date. The host comes over to me and is like, hey, how's it going over here? And I was like, I think she's a little drunk, like she's maybe had a little bit too much to drink, but like it's all good fun. And the host is like, yeah, I kind of noticed that, like, ooh, a little crazy. And I know it's a first date, definitely aware of that. And I made a joke. I was like, oh yeah, do you guys do angel shots? And they got like so concerned. They were like, oh yeah, right. Are you for real? We'll do it. Like blink twice if you need help. And I was like, no, I'm totally kidding. Like it's not that serious. Like she's just kind of being like, eh. But like that set the tone. Like these people were genuinely like, what's going on? So she finally comes back. We start to wrap it up. And I mentioned, I'm like, you're a little slosh. And she was like, oh, no, don't worry. Like I drew blah, 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 whatever. Like I'm good. And then it comes time to pay. Now, we had a conversation about something similar to this via text where she said some like, again, like disparaging, kind of like condescending thing about me being like the femme one and the girly one and the younger one. And she was like, oh, I know how you girls are. Like, yeah, you're ready for me to put my card down, huh? And like pay for stuff, whatever. And I was like, actually, I truly don't mind paying. I was like, sometimes I like to subvert people's expectations and be the one to pay on a first date, especially if like I was the one that picked the place or just sometimes like to be nice. I don't know. Like I don't ascribe to that. She was like, oh yeah, right. Like again, being really fucking weird. And she's doing this in front of the bartender who is like giving us the tab and is talking to us about it. It's like, so is it just on one? Like who's it gonna be? So he's hearing this. And then he walks away and she's like, oh my God, I'm totally kidding. Like, of course I'm gonna pay. Like you're so beautiful and da-da-da. Like, of course I'm gonna treat you. So I'm like, what is with this like weird obsession that you have with like making me feel shitty or like being mean to me? So she pays, we're good. We have like this little snack leftovers that we take. As we're walking out the door, she's making another stupid fucking joke about this being a first date. And then she literally stumbles and like drops the food on the floor in front of this host and the bartender who were like already concerned. And I was just like, all right, thank you guys so much. Have a good night. And they were like, be careful. So she had like taken her bike there, but she was like way too fucking drunk to be doing that. And so I like put her little bike in my car and took her home. And she was like, oh, how you should like come upstairs with me. Like, let's hang out. Like, let's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm good. Like, I think you're a little drunky. Like, maybe I'll talk to you next time. And then I let her down easy the next time that she tried to hang out with me. But yeah, that was awful. And so not doing that again for a minute. I'm done. This is too soon. These bitches are crazy.
Okay, story time. I had to call the police at my business today. If you're just now following me, my name is Michelle and I co-own a med spa in Indianapolis, Indiana. And today we had a young woman in her 20s book a service online for microneedling with biorepeal, which is a $485 service. She knew this at the time of the appointment that she booked it. Our policy is when you book an appointment, you have to put a credit card on file in order to book the appointment. So she did have a credit card on file. After she received her treatment, she went up to the checkout and proceeded to tell the checkout counter ladies that she didn't have the money to pay for the service. So they came and got me and I went up front and I'm like, what's going on? And she said, I don't have the money to pay for this. And I said, well, we have in-house financing. And I offered her our financing partner that we have for her to do that. And she said, I can't afford to do that either. I don't have any money. And I said, well, you have to pay your bill. Is there someone you can call or who's going to pay your bill today? And she goes, I can't pay my bill. So I guess, what are the consequences? What are my options? Now, mind you, I am a retired police officer. Like, I spent 20 years enforcing the law. So what are your consequences? I told her I could call the police and you can go to jail for theft of services, refusing to pay for your services. She said, do what you got to do. I think she thought I was joking. I don't know. I think she thought maybe we were a big corporate company and that we would just let her leave and do it as a write-off. We are a local small business. We can't afford for people not to pay for their services. So she sat down. I picked up the phone and I called and said, this is retired Sergeant Michelle Barris, and I need the police to respond to my business for a theft of services. I think she kind of got a little, oh, this might be legit. And she started fumbling through her purse, and then she walked out the door. So I followed her out. We get outside, she gets in her car. I start taking pictures of her car because, police in me kicks in. I got to have all the information I can get. I already have her picture inside my spa, but she could have lied about her name. I don't know. Turns out I don't think she did because I found all her social stuff. She's got some pending paternity cases and she got some stuff going on. Anyway, I'm out there, I'm taking pictures of her car, and she goes, "You can't take pictures of my car." The heck I can't. I go to the back to take a picture of her license plate, but she doesn't have a license plate. So crime number 2, driving around without a license plate on your car. And then she reaches in her back seat. She has one, it looks like in the rearview mirror, but it's not facing out, so you can't see it. So I wasn't even able to get that. But I was able to get, what kind of car she was driving. It was a car she had recently purchased because in the windshield, there's a sticker that's got a little bit left of the serial number in there. So police will be able to track that. I have photos from her from inside the spa. So here's the kicker. She listed her mom as her emergency contact. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to call her mom because I think every mother should know what their children are out doing. Because I don't know, but I'm going to assume her mother did not raise her to do this. I would hope so anyway. So I called this woman. She didn't answer. She left a message. I left a message, but the voicemail was the same name that the client put down for her emergency contact. And I said, "Your daughter, Kate, listed you as an emergency contact and came into the spa today and had a service done and did not pay for her service. A $485 service. And I will give her until 4 p.m. today to make this right and call us, come back, do something, pay your bill." So it's 3:44 now p.m. She still hasn't called or come back. And I just feel very sad for this young girl because you're going to go to jail over something that you had complete control over. You knew when you booked this appointment today, you didn't have the money to pay for it. You come into the spa and you sit down in our waiting room and you bring a Bible with you. And I'm pretty sure in the Bible it says, "Thou shalt not steal," yet you have your Bible there and you leave your Bible with us. So you left your Bible with us. I still have it for you if you'd like to come back and get your Bible. And you just leave. Like, it's okay. It's no big deal. I did call the police. There is a police report that has been filed. So this will get assigned to a detective. I will put a pretty little package together. I will write the probable cause and send it right on over. I will go down to the prosecutor's office myself to file charges because based on principle alone, this is not what you do to any business, be it small, be it big, whatever it is. Don't be a thief. That is just ridiculous. I would have probably had more sympathy for you had you come in and told me how down on your luck you were. Because there are clients out there that we treat, that we have seen specifically, who have come in, who have been down on their luck, and there's, for whatever reason, whatever circumstances have going on in their life, we have made it work for them to be able to get what they need to get. They don't have to steal from us. So this little girl has a podcast. I know that she's on TikTok. I know that she's on social media. You want to know what's even worse? If she graduated high school, I don't know, according to everything I found on her socials, went to the same high school that I went to, Warren Central, which is, no, Warriors don't do this. I don't think. At least I would hope not. I know that the teachers there teach you better than that. So yeah, I am a little disappointed in this young lady today. And I hope that she can sleep well at night. She's going to sleep really glowy because her skin was looking on point when she left. But what a terrible human you are that you have to go and steal facial services. When had you just been a good person, maybe your podcast will take off. Maybe your baby daddy will pay you a little bit extra in child support so that you can have luxury services for yourself. I don't know, but whatever your reasoning is behind it, talk about that on your podcast. I think your podcast is something about girl talk. Talk about that. Talk about being a better person for yourself, for your child or children. I know of at least 2. Just be a better human. Good morning. Let's give an update on our thief from the med spa. Yesterday, we called the police because a young woman came into the spa, got a treatment, and when she was said to pay, she claimed she didn't have any money to pay for it. We offered her in-house financing. She said she didn't have any money to do that. She just wasn't going to pay, wanted to know what her consequences were. We called the police. We filed a police report. The police came out. They took the police report. I have verified who she is. I'm not releasing her name on social media, even though the comments section on my first post flagged some of the responses that I gave back to people because I do know who she is. I don't know why that got flagged, but whatever. She has a current paternity lawsuit going about, custody hearing or whatever the case may be, and she has a court case coming up on April 30th. So I'm going to call the courts on Monday to let them know what this young mom has been up to and make sure that they're aware. Not that it's going to matter any in the paternity case, but I feel like I want to let them know that. To the gentleman who commented on my post about how I was in law enforcement for 20 years and I called it a serial number instead of a VIN number, you're 100% correct. I know that it's a VIN number. Why I called it a serial number, I don't know. It's just my brain was probably doing something else at the time that I was recording it. Tomato, tomato, not really worried about that. I know it's a VIN number. Again, thank you for correcting my grammar. Apologize for that. She's in her early 20s. She's a young mom. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. She had till 4 p.m. yesterday to pay her bill. She refused to pay the bill. She came there knowingly and intentionally that she did not have the money to pay for her service. And to come in with her Bible really is heartbreaking that she wants to put on all her socials that she is Christ-like. She wants to see the good in all people. She wants to lead by example. She wants to be a good person. I think one section said, actually one of her socials says, Christ-like, sophisticated businesswoman, best mommy ×2, real pretty with brains to match. Gorgeous young woman, gorgeous. Could be a model, so gorgeous. But her insides are not pretty, and she needs to work on that. So, public safety announcement for anyone who owns a med spa in the Indianapolis area to be on the lookout for new clients that are new to your spa. If there's some kind of we had no inclination to think a spidey sense or anything. I mean, she seemed like a legit client. There would be no reason for us to ask for payment up front. We don't do that with anybody. That's just not how we do business. You don't go to Target and tell Target that you're going to buy X, Y, and Z and then pay for it before you go in, unless you're doing curbside pickup. And we don't do that. Okay, that's the update. Let me know what questions you have, and I will update you after Monday when I call the courts. Can I talk to you for a moment? And this really isn't related to what happened in the spa the other day, but it's more about the moment that you realize that you're not going to let people take advantage of you anymore. The moment that you stop second guessing yourself, you stop letting people walk all over you, you stop being the victim, and you start being the role model. Because if you don't do these things, you will continue to be taken advantage of your entire life. I used to be that person. I had my daughter when I was 19 years old. I lost my mom at a very young age, and I didn't have a roadmap to figure life out. I kind of had to do it myself. But nowhere along the way did I feel like I was entitled to anything or that anybody owed me anything. I worked multiple jobs. There were times that I was barely able to pay my bills and tried to figure out how I was going to feed myself, feed my daughter, and keep things going. But I figured it out. I didn't go take it from somebody. Somewhere along the way, I made the choice. I'm not going to be the victim in any story, let alone my own story. So yes, I have reinvented myself multiple times. I was a police officer. I'm a registered nurse. I am a business owner. And I'll probably reinvent myself again before the next 5 years are up. But more than anything, I'm a person who decided finally that enough is enough. And you as a person, as a business owner, as an individual, have to decide when is enough enough. If you just let anything that happens to you just, oh, well, no big deal. It's okay. It's not okay. Because you put that out into the universe and then you're telling the universe that anyone can come take advantage of you. And that is not okay. You've got to stop settling. You've got to stop being quiet. You have to start being the role model of the voice that you want to be, that you want others to be. If you're watching this, you are a person that I really want to connect with in my life. Like you are a person that needs to be reminded that you are enough. You can stand up for yourself. You can hold people accountable. And that's what I'm doing. So yes, the $485 that the young woman stole from me is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. I get that. And I recognize that it's not a felony because it's under $750 in the state of Indiana. And I recognize that I will probably spend more money in civil court and time on this matter than I will ever get from this young woman. And I will not do the right thing. Because if I don't do anything, I'm setting the standard for her to think that this is okay. And this is not okay.
So someone blocked me because I respectfully told them that they were not going to be invited to my wedding and we should talk about it, because I've seen videos like this and I always just didn't think that would ever happen to me. So for context, she did in fact invite me to her wedding 11 years ago. She got married when she was 26. We are both now 37. This happened 11 years ago. I did a tender wedding. It was wonderful. We had a much stronger friendship at the time. But I have not seen her since 2019. And on top of that, all of our correspondences since COVID time have all just been like sharing memes, sharing Taylor Swift news occasionally, but like nothing of substance, no phone calls, no hangouts. So I literally posted, obviously on social media, that I was engaged. And so she reached out. We had pleasantries, like we talked about it. It was great. She was very nice. And then she basically saw my video. Again, she's blocked me at this point, so I'm not worried about her seeing this video, even if she did. When she chose to block me on all of social media and block my phone number after I respectfully told her what I'm about to tell you, like, I just decided I was going to make this video because I just don't care at this point. But we basically were talking about it, and she said, oh my God, you're gonna have your wedding in 3 months. And she said, well, I think gas prices might be going up. So can you give me like a better idea of like what weekend you think you're gonna have your wedding, so I can start looking at flights to try to like beat those prices? So I decided to, like, guys, I already have people that I talk to a hell of a lot more, have a stronger relationship with, but like at some point you have to make some choices. And if I haven't hung out with you since 2019, I haven't had a phone call with you since 2019, and our entire relationship is based on memes since 2019, I understand you invited me to your wedding 11 years ago, but I don't think that immediately like requires me to invite you to my wedding. That is my opinion. Maybe some of you think I'm wrong about this, but I basically was just like, oh, like respectfully, like I would love for you to come, but we have a space issue at this point. I said, we're not even gonna probably be able to meet the criteria we're trying to meet right now because we only can invite, 200 people, and we're already struggling to like make that list make sense. Then I get this whole like, I don't understand the rules of etiquette. She invited me to her wedding. She didn't know our relationship had deteriorated that much. And then I tried to respond, but instead, when I tried to respond, it didn't look like it was delivered. And then I realized I was blocked on Instagram and blocked on TikTok. So being engaged is a joy. I'm so excited about this whole process. Guys, I have at least 100 first cousins. I need you to register how big my family is before you make really insensitive comments like this, where you're absolutely flaming me. Like 200 people sounds like a lot to you, but when you have over 100 first cousins, your parents were both of one of at least 9, you're super close to so many of your family members, you have siblings who also have families, and you have nieces and nephews to consider. 200 people doesn't get you very far. Plus, I have a fiance who is going to take close to half of that head count. So now I'm at closer to 100 or 110 people I get to invite. So I have to make hard decisions when it comes to a family that I am very, very close to, because my parents did a really good job of making sure that we were really close to a lot of our aunts and our uncles and our cousins, and we spent most of our time with them. And then on top of that, I have really, really good friends who have spent a lot of time nurturing our friendship over the last decade. So why wouldn't I choose them over somebody who has sent me memes and only memes since 2019? Just some food for thought. But unless you have an enormous family that you're close to, and you're like somebody who takes the villager perspective very seriously, I don't feel like comments like this are like super fair. A lot of you are upset about my delivery and the fact that I told her what the head count was. So I'm going to just show you the text messages. Yeah, I did talk about the head count. I did tell her she was uninvited, but here are the exact messages. You can just read for yourself. Honestly, like, I am taking the perspective that I felt like I tried to be as nice as I possibly could and indicate that I valued the friendship. I also brought up the fact that I did bring up the girls trip that I wasn't invited to, because to me, if you go on a girls trip with people that you know are our mutuals and you don't invite me, then I'm going to assume our friendship really isn't that strong. I know some of you were like, girls trip, wedding, completely different things. Like, yeah, but doesn't that also tell me like where I fell in her book? I don't know. Okay, so I'm being absolutely dragged by the internet right now, which is a unique experience for me, but I want to address a couple of things. First and foremost, I recognize that my first video was very off-putting. I should have characterized that video differently, presented that video differently, or not even posted it, okay? I acknowledge that. Number two, the text messages that I posted, some of you were like, I get it. Some of you were like, you definitely should have reworded XYZ, and I 100% agree with you. There was a much better way for me to send those messages regardless of her response. Next, a lot of you are really hung up on the fact that she blocked me. Like, you were like, she 100% should have blocked you. Why would you not be blocked? I never ever said she was wrong for that. Like, some of you were really running with this idea that I was criticizing her decision, when in reality, I just said she blocked me. And I did make a video about it, but she has since unblocked me. We are now talking. She knows I'm making this follow-up video, which is why I've waited, because she unblocked me a couple hours ago when she found these Tik Toks, watched me get dragged, and she was like, this is amazing. I'm actually loving this. And so she has given me grace, unblocked me, wanted to reach out, wanted to talk, and she has taken down the Instagram reel where she named and shamed me yesterday. Some of you might have saw it. But yesterday, before I posted my video, she posted a video where she actually like posted my name and my Instagram handle and said some stuff. So if you did see that video, great. If you didn't see that video, you're probably not going to at this point, I hope, unless someone screen recorded it, which is possible. And so we have kind of moved on. With that said, 200-person wedding is not that many people. If you are from a culture of Arab or South Asian, like, you understand that 200 people is not a lot. I'm super close to my family. So with my family alone, that is going to make up the majority of the half that I get out of that 200. My fiance also comes from a big family. So I'm maybe going to have 100 or 120 people tops. And then I do have some friends, but they are my best friends. They are not meme friends. They are my ride and dies. So they are my priority in inviting. And so for you guys to expect me to invite somebody who I have not had a relationship with, like, have not seen in 7 years, is very unfair, because there are venues that have capacity. Like, you can only invite so many people. So I'm not going to uninvite or not bring or like invite somebody who is very, very, very close to me in order to invite somebody who is less close to me. And finally, I don't think a lot of you would have made a different choice, but I think it is very easy to get on the internet with the information you have. I recognize I brought this to the internet, 100% recognize I brought it to the internet. But it's very easy for you to get on here and say, I would have done something differently, when in reality you would not have.
The other night when I was ordering a drink, I told the bartender that I'm a virgin, and he got like super weirded out by that for some reason, and I'm like, dude, you're the one who looked at my ID, didn't believe I was 21, so you asked me my star sign. I was born in September. I'm a virgin. Like, I don't get what the problem.
Get ready with me to go file a restraining order. I feel like enough time has passed to where I feel like I am pretty comfortable talking about this situation, as traumatizing as it was. So last year around Halloween, actually it was on Halloween, I had a little incident happen where I had to send a man to prison. So the day before Halloween, me and a few of my coworkers had just gotten off work, and we were like sitting outside the office at the bar, like waiting for everybody to get their stuff together, and we were all gonna leave and go get a drink together. And I'm sitting there just like talking to everybody, chilling, and this guy comes up to me and he asks me where the bathroom is. And we are sitting directly in front of the bathroom, so I just point. I was like, right there. It's like, cool, thanks. And then he just walks outside. And I was like, that was weird, but I didn't think much of it, because maybe he just wanted to know for future reference or something. Until he comes back in like a minute later, and one of our bartenders is like escorting him inside. And it turns out he had followed her into like our back storage beer room. And once she saw him and like started yelling at him, he played dumb and was like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just looking for the bathroom. I literally just showed you where the bathroom was. You don't think she's gonna tell me that that's what you were doing? So whatever, we're like, this guy's weird. He goes into the bathroom, and we're all still just sitting there like waiting for everybody. And he comes out, he like pokes his head out, and he looks directly at me and was like, can you show me where the toilet paper is? I was like, oh, is it out? He's like, yeah, can you take me to go get some more? I said, no, but I can go get you some. You can stay there. He's like, no, can you show me where it is? I said, no, I'll be right back. I'll just go get some. Mind you, I'm also off the clock, so I was like, I don't want to do this. So I go grab him some, and then I hand it to him, And he's like, hey, come here. I'm like, what? Do you want this or not? He's like, let me buy you a drink. I said, no. I work here. I can drink whenever I want. And he's like, oh, wait, come here, though. Come here. It's like, what? He goes, I got condoms. I said, okay, nope, you gotta go. So we got our manager, kicked him out, obviously. He was escorted out, and turns out he had snuck in there. The bouncers were like, we didn't let that guy in. He had somehow gone through, like, the back fence or something and snuck in, which is super comforting to know that people can do that. But anyway, we, like, some of the guys that we work with were already at the bar that we were going to, so we called them. We're like, hey, can you guys just, like, look around and see if this weird dude is there? Like, we give him a description. Like, nah, coast is clear. Like, y'all are good. You can come. So we all walk over as a group. It's literally, like, across the street, so it wasn't, like, super sketchy or anything. And we get there, and we're just hanging out outside for a little bit. Like, we're totally fine. And we see him, like, behind the bushes, and he's holding his phone up to his ear like he's pretending to be on a call. And then his flash is on. So we're like, dude, you're clearly trying to, like, be nonchalant, but you're recording us. So the guys are like, get inside. All the girls ran inside. And they, like, post up at all the doors and, like, make sure that he doesn't try to come in there to, like, find us. And eventually they see him leave. So they come back inside and they sit back down with us. And we're there for, like, another 30 minutes. And then this dude comes in through the back door and just, like, beelines it for the bathroom. And one of my friends literally gets up, immediately starts recording, and, like, tells the bartenders, like, hey, dude, he's got to get out. They drag him out of the bathroom, kick him out. And we thought that was, like, the end of it that night. We're like, what the hell just happened? Oh, no, we didn't. I forgot. He went, like, back over to my bar that I work at, and the bouncers there called the cops on him. They're like, this dude's being really creepy. So the cops came, they talked to him. They didn't have anything they could, like, actually charge him for, so they let him go. Fast forward to the next night is when things actually get, like, insane. Mind you, this is Halloween, so we're all in costumes while this is happening. Like, my friend is dressed up as the barmaid from Shrek, like, screaming at this dude to get out. Full face of makeup on. It was so funny. Well, not funny, but, like, we can laugh now. So the night after, we had, like, a special event at work. I was literally dressed as a mermaid when all this happened. And we all got off early because we got to go home once the event was over instead of, like, 2 a.m. when we normally get off. And we go back to the same bar as the night before. This time I'm only with guys. It's me and 3 of my guy coworkers. And this part's, like, kind of on me, but I just kind of completely forgot about the situation the night before. And I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. And I left everything at the table, like my phone, my keys, everything at the table. But I didn't think anything of it because I was like, the guys can just watch it, it's fine. Oh, I missed a part. The night before when we were leaving and walking, I grabbed a butter knife as a joke and was like, don't worry guys, I got us. If he comes after us, I got us. And I just put it in my pocket, just like as a joke. Didn't think I would actually need it. So I go to the bathroom and I'm just like minding my business, do my thing. And I hear the door open and I was just like, oh, it's just another girl going to the bathroom. And then I hear a guy's voice and I said, oh, hell no. So I crack open the door to, like, look and see who it is. Like, maybe it was an employee or something and they were coming to clean and they didn't realize someone was in here. And nope, I see the same guy from the night before. And I, like, absolutely panicked, so I just, like, closed the stall door, locked it real quick, and just didn't know what to do. And then I hear this man say, it's time, we got her. To this day, I don't know if he was just, like, talking to the voices in his head or if he was actually talking to someone, like, on the phone or something. But either way, that is the most terrifying thing to hear when you're locked in a bathroom with a man. And then the lights go out. And obviously, I'm like, okay, this is not a mistake. He didn't accidentally go into the men's bathroom. No, he purposely followed me in there to trap me. I start freaking out. I'm, like, banging on the door, like, get out, like, losing my mind. He's trying to get under the door to get to me. Apparently, while this was happening, another girl came in to use the bathroom, and she sees him, and he has his pants down. So she runs to the bar for help, and right as everybody's coming to help is when I decide I'm just gonna make a run for it. So I realized that I had that butter knife in my pocket. I didn't have anything else on me, but I had that butter knife that I grabbed the night before as a joke. And I grab this thing and I make it look like it's a knife, like a real knife. And I come at him with it. I'm like, get away from me! And I book it towards the door. And as soon as I get to the door, that's when the bartenders open it and they come in and they just, like, grab this man and throw him out on the streets. I go outside. I have a panic attack. My friend calls the cops. The guy got away and he made a run for it, but I saw that he was heading back towards where I work. So I called my friend that was still at work. I was like, hey, that same guy from last night, he's heading your way. Please go get him. So he literally goes upstairs and grabs this dude and, like, tackles him until the cops can come find him again. Like, that is a homie. He literally tackled a man for me. Anyway, the cops get him. They search him. He has a bunch of, like, meth and pipes and stuff on him. He was already on probation, so that, like, violated that. And what's crazy is, like, he looked like just, like, a completely normal dude. Like, if he just walked past me in the streets, I wouldn't have thought anything. But it's the guys who can, like, make themselves look normal that end up being the craziest. He was also, like, very good at, like, talking super composed, so I would have never known that he was on meth. So he gets arrested. I went to court a few months ago. He ended up taking a plea bargain and only had to serve 160 days in jail. He had, like, 7 charges. He got assault on a female, indecent exposure, like, drug paraphernalia, drug possession, like, trespassing, a bunch of different stuff. And still only got 160 days. And the reason that I am finally talking about this and putting this story out there is he was released the other day. He is back on the streets, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does something like this again. I'm doing everything I can to make sure that he stays away from me, but obviously not everybody can do that. So if you're a woman and you live in Raleigh, please be careful out there. I don't know if, like, for legal reasons, if I can post a picture of him or anything, but if you want to know who he is and what he looks like, you can message me and I will send you a picture of him so you know that this man is dangerous. I have given his information to all of the bars that I frequent. I'm giving it to my front desk people at my apartment complex. Everybody at my work knows what he looks like. I just want this community to be aware that he's now free and can do this again. And as traumatizing as that situation was, obviously, I'm super glad that it didn't happen to anyone else, and I want to do everything I can to make sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else, and that I'm the only person that has to deal with this. So yeah, girlies in Raleigh, do not walk at night alone. Make sure you are always in a group, preferably with a man. Make sure that you have pepper spray, you got a siren, you got a taser, you have whatever, some way of protecting yourself. Butter knife worked for me just fine. And just, like, be aware of your surroundings, because I had no idea that guy was even at the bar and he was able to get me in the bathroom alone. So yeah, be safe out there, and thanks for listening to my crazy story time. Bulletproof, nothing to lose. Bulletproof, nothing to lose.
Curl my hair with me while I tell you guys a big secret I've been keeping for almost a month. So as most of you know, this is my 4th year living in Texas, and I moved here from Kentucky when I was going into 6th grade. Originally, I hated Texas so much, I refused to actually make real friends. I would make surface level friends that I had people to talk to, but I had absolutely no interest in hanging out with people on the weekends, nothing like that. I just wanted to be back in Kentucky. It went as far as, like, when we were doing the pledges at the beginning of the school day, I wouldn't say the Texas pledge. Like I said, I tried not to make friends. I was so set on the fact that I was going to be moving home that year. However, throughout 7th grade, I really started to like it here, and I kind of questioned whether or not I actually wanted to move back. And by the time, I guess, summer going into 8th grade came, I realized I didn't want to move back, and I was happy with that. I allowed myself to fully make friends and kind of go for it, and I really do love it here. I love my dance studio. I love my friends so much. I have the best friends in the world here. I love my house, and I just genuinely love Texas in general. There's so many amazing things that being in Texas has done for me. Like, I would have never met my best friends if I didn't move here. I've danced with so many amazing choreographers and people, and that would have never happened if we didn't move. And I'm just so, I do love Texas. I'm very grateful for it. So looking back to when I found out I was moving and it felt like my life was over and I hated everything about this place, it's a little funny. So that's why I'm laughing now. But it always concerned me because the rest of my family was not the happiest here. My brother was fine where we live, but my parents both wanted to be back in Kentucky because our family's there, our friends are there, everything. So I knew that my dad was looking for things that would move us home, but nothing was ever right. We just continued to stay here, which obviously I was so happy about. But my parents had told me that once we got to high school, things would be different. They would, there wouldn't be any more jobs. There wouldn't be a possibility of moving. We were just gonna be here, and because they didn't want to move me during high school, so I was fully comfortable, and I let myself truly be fully here. I thought I already was, but I wasn't, and I didn't realize that until I got to high school, and I just let myself make friends and fully be here. Moving on from my little Texas appreciation fan account thing that I had going on there, the first time I found out I was moving, I had already known about the opportunity, and so when my parents came out and my dad had this look on his face, I kind of already knew and I said it for him. So just kind of remember that for a minute. So probably about a month ago now, we were at church on a Sunday and we came home, went upstairs to get dressed back into like comfy clothes, and I was going downstairs to get lunch, and my dad stops me and he says he needs to talk about something, and I knew it was gonna be something bad because my parents never say they have to talk to me when something good happens. They just kind of say it. So I knew it was something bad, and if it's obviously in the back of my mind, it's always in the back of my mind when they say they have something to tell me. So I wasn't exactly thrilled to hear that he had talked to me. So we went to the theater room that we have, and we sat down, and I looked at my dad's face, and I said it for him again, and it kind of just ran out of my house. So my dad followed me out, and he told me, why we were moving and all of the things. Yes, I am moving back to Kentucky this July after I get back from Dance Nationals. And of course, I'm not exactly thrilled about it. I'm not scared like I was the first time we moved because I had no idea what to expect coming to Texas, but I know where I'm gonna dance, I know where I'm gonna go to school, I do know people there, my family's there, so I'm not scared, I know what it's gonna be like, but I am not exactly the happiest person alive with it still. Because I really do have the best friends, and I do not want to leave them, and I know what it's like to move, and I know what happens to friendships. Only a few of mine really survived, and I don't want to go through that again, especially not with these people because they mean so much to me. I started telling my friends that week. It wasn't supposed to be out on social media until last Wednesday, so it was of course a secret, but obviously I'm happy to be able to live in the same state as some of my old friends, but my new friends, it's like now wherever I am, no matter where I am, I'm always going to miss people, and that really sucks. And I think having to tell your best friends that you're moving 12 hours away is one of the hardest things in the world. I can promise you right now, it is no fun to have to Google chat your best friend that you're getting yourselves drafted so you can tell her something, and then have to sit there and cry for 30 minutes while you tell her that you're moving. And that just happens all the time. All of my best friends, every single one of them, I told them, majority of them I told them at school, some of them got FaceTime, but all of them, some were in class, some were in Grove time, some were in lunch. And every single time I'm in tears telling them, and it is not a fun time, and it is probably the worst part of moving, and long distance is genuinely the most evil thing ever. Half of me feels guilty for not being overly excited because I do have my friends and family there, but I mean, I have friends here and I do have a life here, and I've lived majority of, everything that I remember is here. I only remember 1 or 2 years of my life in Kentucky that much. Obviously, I remember certain memories, but I remember more here, and this is where my life is, and this is where I've done everything. So of course I'm not thrilled to leave this. Yeah, I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know the update, what's going on in my life and everything. I've also not been posting so much recently because I have been stressed with the moving and all of it. So that's why I haven't been posting as much. But yeah, I did just want to let you know what's going on, and that's kind of my update. I'm happy that the secret's out. It has been very difficult to keep it for this long. I mean, it was a month, and it's very difficult to keep, but it's done, it's out. Yeah, I'm so sorry for the long video. This is almost 10 minutes, but bye.